Oh, okay. Um, so I kind of want to talk about this just because I saw it today, and yeah, as a person, and I'll continue to say this, a moderate person. Like I'm not. I don't sit on either of the extremes. Here's one thing I realized. A lot of people are sitting in echo chambers, and what I mean by that is that like all year round are people who see the world in the same way that you see the world. And so, like, you guys all might have this. Hopefully, maybe you don't actually. I feel like if you're probably on this channel, you might not actually be that politically motivated. Like, I consider myself a moderate just because I don't fall on either of the extremes. Any of the extremes. None of them really apply to me. Anyway, the point here is that, like, um, what I'm talking about Kanye West in Saudi Arabia. I don't know how he got here, but I want to make this video in case anyone else needed the same version of clarification that I'm kind of building for myself with my own personal understanding. Simply because I feel like I keep seeing articles about Kanye West being an anti Semite, okay? And I do know that he's caused a lot. Kanye West is a black person, okay? Kanye West is a black male. I'm a black female. I think that Kanye West is probably a lot more radical than I am. I also think that there's a lot of things about his stance in terms of like power. I feel like the same amount of power, access, and wealth that like say a Diddy has, that's sort of where Kanye West sits. Like I don't have any of that. I'm not trying to be in any of the rooms, that these men are trying to occupy and have occupied. Like, I don't have the same relationships or aim to have the same relationships that they have. So I'm just speaking to you as like a civilian. And what I kind of want to do is not rally a bunch of civilians, but I do want to create like politically informed black women who can talk about these issues in an unbiased way, in a pragmatic way, especially with the way that like Twitter always runs with like just kind of bullshit, and they seem to like write off Kanye West as like not being serious or being too serious. Now I feel like what I saw is there's a girl, and I'll put in the thumbnail, you can see who I'm talking about. So I guess there's like all these like the Vultures album is the new Kanye West project. I think there's a lot of men who are excited about this, who are going to get excited about this. I think that's good for them if they have a leader and they need like someone to rally behind. And maybe this person now is Kanye West. Like there were so many rappers in his event. I saw Quavo there. I saw Ty Dolly Signs there. I feel like I might have seen Coy Leray there. So it feels like whatever's happening in like black rap, hip hoppy culture, they're all rallying behind this. And then I saw Jaden Smith today post an Insta story where he was. So the writing was in Arabic where he was, and then it was like geotagged to a place that was near like a Saudi Arabian university. Now, I also saw a post that there's some super mega like entertainment venue that's being built in Saudi Arabia, and it's supposed to be for like the greatest artists on planet Earth. And I think that's great. I think that there should be like so many more spaces for like artists to come and to aggregate and to build things. Now, my problem or my criticism of really anything happening in the Middle East right now is the dominance of Islam and Muslim theory and its like anti-womanness. I think that, and I feel this way, and I don't know if you do, but just hear me out. I think that Kanye West is heavily inspired by wealth and power. And I think that there's this really like if you study anything about African history, you'll know like some of the richest men on earth were black and they were African or whatever. Now he goes on this rant at the Vultures premiere where he's talking about some of that. Um I'll actually put a link in the description box to who I'm. Is it Mansa Munsa? I think that's like one of. There's so many like rich African kings or whatever, and I feel like some of these men are trying to build kingdoms, like actual kingdoms, like they are actually going to build kingdoms, right? Because Africa is honestly for sale. Not the point, but like they have a lot of wealth and access, and I think Kanye West is one of these people. To me, that's a little bit frightening. Like I don't want to be a part of it. Like the reason that I am coming on here and actually saying this is almost like a sound the alarm, because um if you actually go chat with any, go chat with an African mother, especially like an Ethiopian mother, an Eritrean mother, which is why I continue to follow these women who, like, my mother is not Ethiopian, my father is, but go chat with someone who has an actual African mother, and they will tell that like the history around this sort of like places where there's like dictatorships and monopolies, politically, women end up being slaves, like actual slaves. Like they don't have respect for women in those types of societies, in Islamic societies, in societies in the Middle East. You don't see a whole bunch of women with podcasts. You see a whole bunch of women in Dubai being like sex slaves. Um, that's not by coincidence. That is by culture. It's just a feigned disrespect for women. They believe in like purity politics or nothing. Like purity politics or death. Like you're a virgin or you're dead. I'm sorry, but I don't want to live in that society. So PSA, if you're a black male, maybe this is like an ideal society for you, and this is like a whole ass goal. And I think maybe, Kanye West should just speak out about his true intentions, which I feel like are that for him to have a society where black men have all of the power and a dictatorship over land and political everything, like a political monopoly, basically, where they own and control everything. I'm simply saying, as a black woman, you should be like very skeptical of this, because I don't think that they have a plan to have a society without black women. I feel like, if that were the case, there's always a place for pretty women, and usually it's slavery. Okay, slavery is what those societies are aimed are leading to. Um. So yes, uh, I don't know. I guess I just kind of wanted to say that. I know I threw out kind of a lot of different themes and ideas here, and I'm not trying to be like a conspiracy theorist. You can go watch these videos for yourself, okay? Follow this woman for yourself if you want. I'm just saying this happened today, and it was a little bit shocking to me. Um and it's another reason it is one of the reasons that makes me personally take a step back into finding more similarities between myself and white Americans and America and what it is, and having like a mutual respect for America and what it is. I like having an apartment and a job and a bus pass, okay, and like just being able to have dinner, okay, and I don't need to have some sort of like extreme amount of political anything. And I personally feel like I am starting to find a lot of solace in unpacking ideas from people like Ezra Klein, who does have a podcast. This is why I posted this in the community channel today. I'm going to spend a little bit more time on some of my walks listening to the Ezra Klein show, thinking a little bit more about like not his particular politics, because he has other people on the show, but kind of like unpacking. I think it's maybe what I'm trying to say. It's interesting to unpack what's happening in the Middle East, and just also staying away from the Middle East, to be clear. And like exploring my own freedoms as a woman in America right now. I think that that's important, and I want to say that. Yeah, okay.